When I found out I was going to be a parent, I immediately felt a lot of anxiety and worry. So I went on to BetterHelp to try to look for a therapist to help me with that.
My relationship with my family and with my boyfriend and with myself were suffering. I really needed help.
I was ruminating a lot. Really getting those thoughts out to a therapist and getting feedback was just life-changing.
Discover what BetterHelp Online Therapy can do for you. Visit BetterHelp.com today.
Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and you know Andy's here.
I am, Michael. I am here. I'm out of the basement.
Get out of the basement, Andy, and get up here and record.
I'm here. It's nice.
Apparently, it's been brought to our attention that some of our listeners think that Andy lives in a basement.
I don't. I am
probably because of the comments of him living in a basement and coming up to record, which he brought upon himself. So
I did. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
It's kind of funny. Maybe Andy was pitching some merch ideas in the bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to put some of those into works. But guys, today we have a doozy for you. It's a new case, one that's been in the news quite a bit, about the 21-year-old singer David, spelled D4VD.
Mm-hmm.
D for venereal disease.
D for...
I'm just kidding. But David, but before we get into that, guys, I got to remind you about Patreon. Right, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Patreon,
it would be wrong not to. Patreon.com/TrueCrimeGuys, where you can get access to these episodes early, ad-free, with bonus content. Which, in this last bonus content, we just read a comment from a patron. Tess wrote us a very informative, very lengthy, very constructive comment. Wouldn't you say, Andy?
Yes.
And we had a lot of fun with it. So thank you very much, Tess, for that. But yeah, that's patreon.com/TrueCrimeGuys. Right below the description of this episode, there is a link, guys. We appreciate it very much. Best way to support the show. Also, leave a review. Don't forget to leave a review. And tell your friends. And follow us on social media at True Crime Guys. That's the last thing. All right, but today, David, D4VD, he was recently arrested in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her family reported her missing multiple times way back in the spring of 2024. This goes back quite a bit. These two had a relationship for a few years. Then, in December of 2025, her dismembered remains were found inside a Tesla registered to old D4VD.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a headlines and shenanigans case episode with that on there.
We did when that came out. But so here we are in 2026, and now he has been arrested.
Finally.
And, quite a bit has come out.
Yeah, they were able to arrest him because of the overwhelming amount of evidence.
You're not kidding, Andy. So let's get into it. Roll that intro.
Okay.
Yeah, everything that's happened in the past 18 months, it's been absolutely bonkers. Going from scoring Fortnite videos like they were music videos to then having people know me for my music and actually like it. It's crazy because homeschooling, I wasn't going outside. So I thought I was just gonna be in Texas forever. But then boom.
All right, so it was Thursday, April 16th, when David Burke got taken into custody by the LAPD. It was around 4:30 p.m. The police showed up at his Hollywood Hills home in full tactical gear, and they busted that front gate open with the battering ram. They were not fucking around.
No, hell yeah.
No,
Raid time.
They did not ring a doorbell. And David did not resist arrest. I mean, who would?
Nah, when the SWAT team comes in.
It's the whole SWAT team, man. And they didn't knock. At least not politely. But really, to understand why they were here and to understand how bad he really was cooked in the situation, it all starts with a Tesla. You got to understand that. It exploded. No, I'm just kidding.
Kind of. Exploded onto the news.
It exploded onto the news. Neighbors of David had been noticing this Tesla for a while. It was just parked in different places around their Hollywood Hills neighborhood for usually pretty long periods of time. And it was moved around, right? For about 3 months, they would move it over here, move it over there. But sometime around August of 2025, it stopped moving altogether. It was just sitting on the street less than 2 blocks from the home David was renting. So eventually, the car starts getting attention. And then on August 27th, parking officials ticketed the Tesla. Nothing really serious. It was just because it'd been sitting there too long. Just illegal parking, that's all.
And I think at this point, it's because David was out on tour. I think that's why he was no longer there. He had left to kind of distance himself from that area.
I bet. But then on September 5th, the car gets towed. And employees at the impound lot start to notice something weird with the car. It kind of stinks.
Yeah, after a few days in that lot, they realize they're walking past something that is the unmistakable smell.
Yes, very distinct. And at that point, they called the police. So investigators, they search the Tesla, and inside they find a cadaver bag covered in insects. They unzip the bag to see a decomposed head and torso. Underneath that bag is another one. Inside were arms and legs. Police could tell that the body was female. She was wearing black leggings, a tube top, and a yellow chain bracelet and stud earrings. Now, as of now, they haven't released a cause of death.
Yeah.
Like an official cause of death. And most of the autopsy results have been pretty sealed, but they were able to identify Celeste through dental records.
Mm-hmm. That's because remember she was that badly decomposed. They couldn't identify her.
And they could also tell that she had been in the vehicle for a long time, weeks, possibly months.
Yeah.
So, also her body was found just one day after her 15th birthday. Mm-hmm. She was killed at 14 years old.
Yeah. This is a hard case, guys.
So, let's get to know Celeste Hernandez. Celeste is from Lake Elsinore, California. She comes from a working class family in a working class town, about an hour away from where she was found. She lived there with her family, and by all accounts, she was a pretty normal teenager. Then, in February of 2024, she is reported missing for the first time. She was just 13 years old and in 7th grade. And soon there were posters going up all over town. There were posts across social media. Her family, her friends, everyone was trying to find her. And around this same time, someone who knew Celeste sent an email to David telling him, quote, "Do the right thing and take her home. Her parents are worried." See, so someone knew where Celeste was.
Oh yeah, no 13-year-old doesn't tell anybody where they're going. They're 13-year-olds aren't that good at keeping secrets.
Exactly. So within days of that email, Celeste returns home, at least for a little while. And then there's a live stream. People watching at the time of this live stream say that a girl who looked like Celeste and went by that name is on screen with David. And they're joking around, they're talking. And at the end, he laughs and he says, "Delete everything."
Mm-hmm.
It seems like just maybe, they didn't want to use the video footage or whatever, but in hindsight, it seems very ominous.
Yeah, and when hindsight, this is one of those things that's like, we're just going to put a little tally on that one.
Exactly. Yeah. And authorities haven't confirmed that it's her in the video, but it's her in the video.
It's pretty much.
It's her in the video. But then sometime between January and March of 2024, David is seen stepping out of a black Tesla just a few minutes from Celeste's house. And this image was first posted by a local teen on TikTok, and CNN verified it by pinning down the actual location and timing. So it was a legit photo of David at that time. Then around March 19th, 2024, Celeste is again reported missing. Then again on April 5th. That makes the third and final time.
So yeah, she keeps going. These are one of the. It becomes a very frustrating thing at this point that it happens multiple times. That she gets reported missing multiple times, and I get that her family does try to stop her from contacting anybody and kind of keeping her on lockdown, but 3 times this girl gets disappeared. I'm fucking putting bars on the window. I don't know.
Right.
I'm fucking putting a tracking bracelet on my 13-year-old daughter at this point. I'm not trying to blame the parents, but
they seem to be very permissive
at a point. But yes, because I said there was somebody who there was talk about they took her phone away so that she couldn't contact him and stuff, and they tried to remove her from social media. But either way,
that's probably when he showed up at her house,
possibly. But either way, I'm just that's a third. It's he meets her when she's 11, she's 12, 13. These are years where it's no, you're not fucking escaping my house 3 times. You're not sneaking out this many times or getting out of my house. After the first time, I'm fucking watching you like a hawk. If there's a second time, oh no, fucking, like I said, FBI bracelet. You're getting a fucking tracking anklet.
Right.
You have to cut off a foot like a saw to get out of here.
Dude, you could just put one of them little tracking things like on her phone or something.
I'd fucking shoot into her arm like a goddamn Minority Report episode. Yeah, see if we get that out. Shoot a tracking chip into the back of your neck.
Right. So again, this is April of 2024. And at this point, when she goes missing, Celeste's face is all over town. It's all online. People are talking. And then at some point, I guess the pressure starts to get to her, so she calls home. Now, one of the hardest parts, really, about this case is keeping the whole timeline straight because there's still a lot out, and we don't really know exactly when Celeste was killed, right? So you have to keep that in mind. We don't know that yet. But in June of 2024, she's photographed backstage at a show David did in L.A. So that's June, so she's alive. Also, later on during the investigation, the owner of the home that David was renting paid a private investigator to come and check out the property, and they found a digital camera inside the house, and on it were photos of David and Celeste, timestamped December 2024 and January of 2025.
So they can kind of, like a little bit more of the timeline, just kind of get dropped into places.
Exactly. Now, if you look at David's background, I mean, he doesn't really seem like the killer type, right? He was a homeschooled kid, grew up outside of Houston, very strict religious household. But to be fair, a lot of the serial killers had strict religious households.
Yeah, I mean that's one category that we could put in, but still.
Yeah, but I mean that's not enough, right? But before the fame, he was big into gaming and writing music. And then that kind of led to him writing music alongside of videos of himself gaming. And then in 2022, one of his songs, entitled Romantic Homicide, blew up on TikTok. Went absolutely viral, and that changed his life. He got
I think originally he was like a Fortnite gamer or something like that. He was like trying to stream on Fortnite or something like that. And all of his videos kept getting taken down because music he was putting up was other people's music.
Right, yeah.
So he's like, well, I got to make my own music now? Fine.
Right.
And he got better at making music than he was playing Fortnite.
When streaming first came out, you could use other people's music.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and then, they had to lock down on that like everything else. But he landed a record deal because of this viral TikTok video, and he moves to LA. And in February of 2024, his management company rents him his house in the Hollywood Hills for $20,000 a month.
That's a big little jump right there from some little, small town Texas homeschooled kid to Hollywood Hills, in a few months.
Yes, sir. Then on August 5th, 2025, he kicked off a national tour for his debut album, Withered. But after Celeste's body was discovered on September 8th, the rest of the tour was canceled. Interesting tidbit here. There's a character he plays in his music and in some of his live shows where he wears a shirt that's covered in bloody handprints, and he wears a blindfold over his eyes.
Oh yeah, they it's part of like the merch for his tour was like bloodstained shirts. It's like for the Romantic Homicide video.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, that was like literally part of their merch line.
Yeah. In an interview, he explained it by saying he was really into anime, and at one point was even working on his own manga. The story was about a detective trying to solve murders committed by his own evil alter ego. Seen it.
Seen it. Sounds boring.
Yeah. But that alter ego was called Itami, which means pain in Japanese. He's basically an agent of chaos, David said. Kind of my alter ego.
Oh, kind of my alter ego.
Whoa, kind of got personal there.
Yeah, a little Freudian slip, right?
Wait, do artists write about personal things that they know? Wait,
does art mimic reality? Or is it the other way around?
But yeah, so it sounds like creative storytelling, right? But then you look at the lyrics in Romantic Homicide. Lines like, in the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it. But the song came out in 2022, to be fair. But the song drops July 2022. And then the official music video comes out a couple months later, which just happens to be Celeste's birthday, September 7th.
2022, yeah. September 7th is I forgot that. Yeah, when the music video drops on her birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. I think he was talking to Celeste at this time still.
Oh, yeah, he definitely was. He started talking to her when she was
like 11.
Yeah, on social media or whatever. He met her through that at 11. And they said they said the relationship turned sexual when she was 13. So, yeah.
That's disgusting. But that's definitely something that a lot of people have picked up on. The fact that the release date for that music video was September 7th. Mm-hmm. That's no coincidence. And then one more thing surfaces. In December of 2023, an unreleased track leaked online. It's titled Celeste Demo Unfinished. Yeah.
So just kind of putting it right in there. Just putting it, just kind of like, just giving it right on the platter. Just like, right there? Okay.
Pretty much. But the California law protects them. California actually passed a law in 2022 saying you can't take someone's lyrics or creative work and use that to paint them as a violent person.
Oh, that's a new law too in 2022. I'm surprised. That sounds like something they would have had to do.
Insane Clown Posse was celebrating, bro. They were throwing a party.
I feel like that would have had to been like a law that was passed in the 80s or some shit, you know?
Right? It's like Eminem got away with a lot of shit.
Yeah, but fucking people were like, Guar's been doing some crazy shit for a while. But yeah, I thought that would have been that's a 2022. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought that would have been a long time ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that lyrics are completely off the table, right? Like, you can still bring up lyrics, especially if it's extremely specific to the case, you know, like a track entitled Celeste.
Yeah.
You know,
romantic homicide.
Yeah, so that could be. But who knows? After his arrest, David's attorneys put out a statement, in case you want to know how they feel. They said, "Let us be clear. The evidence will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not responsible for her death. Even though he sang about it, was the only one with her, and she was found in his car." I mean, come on. What evidence is that?
What evidence is that? I mean, we'll get to more evidence, but I mean, sure.
I mean, if this guy did it, OJ did it. Am I right? I mean, come on.
Please.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
So going back to September, LAPD actually searches the house he'd been renting in the Hollywood Hills. And during that search, officers take a computer along with a few other items from the home. According to prosecutors, 14-year-old Celeste is last seen at David's home on April 23rd, 2025. And then you get the text messages, right? Prosecutors say the two of them have been arguing, apparently about David being involved with other women, when she was apparently led to believe that they had a future together. So at some point, Celeste threatens to expose some type of damaging information to end David's career and basically ruin his life.
Yeah.
So that a lot of people suspect that she may have been pregnant, and that information has not been released. Mm-hmm. When her body was first examined, I think it came out that she was not, but then they said inconclusive.
Yeah, it was.
They changed it to inconclusive, so we really don't know. And if she is pregnant and the baby was David's, it's really gonna look bad.
Yep.
Really gonna look bad. But the timing here really matters, because just 2 days later, David's debut album, Withered, is about to drop. Now he's got endorsement deals, and they're bringing in a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot.
Paying that $20,000 a month house.
Mm-hmm. And he's getting ready to go on tour. So if you're looking at this, the way the prosecutors are framing it, he's got a shit ton to lose. And according to this evidence brief, on the night they believed she's killed, David orders her an Uber to his house.
That's there's a lot of this Uber thing too, where it's almost very much so on the nose of like, dude, you're clearly trying to blend an alibi here,
right?
Like, don't you think we would tell when the timestamps? Okay, whatever, man, whatever.
Exactly.
He's so young. He's so stupid. I really gotta believe he's just really dumb.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these people, like, when they get all this fame this young and all this money, and everybody treats them with all this respect, all of a sudden they confuse it with power, and they think that they can do this kind of stuff. You know, they really do. It's like their life has changed that much. They think that they're above it. They're like, I got enough money to get out of any situation. You know?
Mm-hmm. I got people for that now.
Exactly. But he orders the Uber around 8:40 p.m. So she gets there a little after 10. And prosecutors allege that within about 20 minutes of her arriving, she was attacked. In 20 minutes. The autopsy report documented 2 stab wounds, one to her abdomen and one to her chest. And then there's the toxicology. Initially, they came back showing possible presence of benzodiazepines, right? Benzodiazepines, methamphetamine, and MDMA. But when they try to confirm some of that, specifically the meth and what they call designer opioids, those results end up being inconclusive now.
Yeah, her body's been decomposing for a while.
It's been a little bit. So the reason given is interfering substances in the samples. So even that part isn't really clear. And then this next detail that prosecutors say confirms their theory that she was stabbed almost right away. About 20 minutes after the Uber drops off Celeste, David starts sending text messages to her phone asking where she is. And according to prosecutors, that's happening right after they believe she's already dead. See what I mean? It's like, why would he? They know she got there at a certain time because of the Uber records.
Yeah, the Uber drive, like
right?
the Uber
and
thing
then
tracks
20 minutes later, you're asking where she is. It's like,
again, like, dude, you don't think the Uber is going to track? You don't think that thing? Again, I gotta think that he's just so young and dumb.
Yeah,
he doesn't think that he's gonna. He thinks he's gonna get away with this stuff because he's got money now. He's got fame. He's got people.
Exactly. But they claim, him doing this, him texting is just trying to create an alibi.
Yeah.
And it's just not a very good attempt. But later that same night around 11:30, David leaves his house and drives out to Santa Barbara County, more than 100 miles away. That's where authorities believe that he gets rid of a number of Celeste's personal belongings. They also say he goes back to that same remote area 2 more times the following month. Then, months later in January 2026, Celeste's passport is found off the side of a highway, right out in that same area. Then,
a little bit of a trail, so to speak.
A little bit of a trail. Then the next morning, prosecutors say David goes right back to his normal routine. He returns to Hollywood Hills, does a radio interview, and that same day, April 24th, they say he ordered a shovel from Home Depot. It was delivered to his house through Postmates.
That's one of those weird things that it's like, Postmates? Really, Postmates?
Why would you have a shovel? How lazy are you, dude?
Oh, a single shovel? Really?
Also, this just shows again how dumb he is.
Yeah.
Why not go pay cash for a shovel?
Yeah. Right?
What the?
Also, this just shows us, dude's like, man, fucking lazy ass. You don't got your own shovel at that house? Stupid lazy motherfucker.
Right.
Clearly don't do your own yard work.
Clearly. But he also sends 2 more texts to Celeste's phone that day. After April 26th, prosecutors say he never tried to contact her again. And then this is where it gets a little tough. On May 1st, prosecutors allege he used an alias, Victoria Mendez, to order 2 chainsaws on Amazon. A few days later, on May 5th, they say he orders a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool.
I also found it very strange that you can order a body bag online. I am sure that you can. There's websites where you can order anything online, but just individual, like Amazon. I don't know.
Just one body bag.
Just
you
one
don't
body
think
bag?
we should look into that?
You don't think there should be that needs to be
They're not
a
a
bulk
funeral
thing?
home. It's not a morgue.
Yeah, it's just a guy's house.
Not a hospital.
Yeah. You got to sign for I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, body bag? Really? Okay.
May want to ask some follow-up questions.
Okay. Anybody? Not to yuck anybody's yum.
That's right. But the blue inflatable pool apparently was used to hold Celeste's body while prosecutors allege that he dismembered her in the garage. They say investigators later found pieces of that same blue plastic actually in her remains.
Yeah.
So they know for a fact that she was in that pool. Prosecutors also allege that 2 of Celeste's fingers were cut off, her left ring finger and her pinky, which they believe was done because her and David had matching tattoos on those fingers.
Mm-hmm. I think it said shh or something. Yeah, just like the letters SHH or something.
Yeah. And those fingers have never been found.
Nope.
No. They're probably somewhere in that area where he dumped the passport and all that.
Or they're just completely gone.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he threw them in that area, but, wildlife probably.
Yeah, they're never finding those fingers.
No. They allege that Celeste's head and torso were then put into a body bag, which, the body bag he ordered on Amazon. And her limbs went into a separate garbage bag. And then those bags were loaded into the front trunk of the Tesla. And prosecutors say that's where he left her. And So later on, when people notice the smell, they ask about it. He allegedly just lied or brushed them off. Everybody was like, yeah, he always had something to say, or he just ignored it. But, weeks later, July 7th, they find something unusual in the garage. It's a burn cage incinerator, still in the box. Never used.
It's not, when you say like incinerator, that was one thing that I was confused on too. It's not like an incinerator, because I saw pictures of it online. It's basically like a fire pit. It's like a big cage.
It's like a deep fire pit with holes on the side for ventilation.
Yeah. Think of like a burn barrel, but like a real cagey burn barrel, almost like with just like metal slats and holes, like you said, for good ventilation and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not like an incinerator, but again, it's just one of those things that you're like, dude, you're buying all this shit with like a clear paper trail on Amazon, online with your fucking cards and your name and shit sent to this house. Like,
right.
God.
I mean, he used a different name for the shovel.
No, for the chainsaws.
Oh, for the chainsaws.
For the multiple chainsaws that he ordered.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so he was going to use the burn cage incinerator, I guess, at some point in time to dispose of the body and just never got around to it.
Or maybe dispose of some of the other things, like the pool, or like the...
I guess he was like, I'll just deal with it when I get back from on tour.
Yeah. How lazy are you? Do you think no one... He literally thought he could just leave this till he got back.
Yeah.
Like, I'll leave the body in a Tesla. No one's going to bother the Tesla that's parked outside my house, like, illegally. That's
right.
Like, just this sheer, like, apathy or just ignorance of, like, yeah, no one's going to bother it. Like, it's mine. It's not fucking with anybody. So it's fine just to leave until I get back from tour.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, not long after that search, David broke his lease and he moved out of the house, as you can imagine.
Really? I would wonder why.
Yeah. But he was arrested in another house just a few miles away. That was on April 16th. He was taken into custody on a probable cause warrant, which basically meant that they had enough to make the arrest, but prosecutors got to decide exactly what we're charging him with.
Yeah.
So David Burke, he was 21 years old at the time, is taken into custody by the LAPD. He's facing a murder charge with special circumstances because prosecutors allege that Celeste was a witness to her own alleged sexual abuse, and that he killed her to protect his career and for financial gain. So yeah, it definitely could be that. And they recorded a lot of their relationship. There's no telling what evidence that she may have had, he had, I don't know. But during a court hearing, a prosecutor claims they found a significant amount of child pornography on David's phone. Now, the DA's office hasn't said whether all of that material is connected to Celeste, but investigators say that some of it is Celeste.
Oh, yeah. Some of it's obviously Celeste.
Yeah. And if he's convicted on these charges, he could be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole or possibly the death penalty. Obviously, he's pleading not guilty, and his defense team says that he did not kill Celeste. Legal experts are already speculating about what that defense might look like. One possibility is that she may have died from an overdose, and he panicked and tried to hide what happened. So that's about the only chance you have.
That's like, it's a believable thing, but I don't believe it.
Well, the prosecutors have to prove that he is the one who murdered her.
Yeah.
He obviously had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But unless they can prove that he's the murderer, he won't get life, or the death penalty.
Like I said, I there's so much now that is like just connecting him to her, like just like text message after text message after receipt after receipt. Like It's just, it seems like that he very clearly was trying to make an alibi. He panicked. He tried to like hide and get out of all these things. But just being so ignorant, like I said earlier, thinking that there was like, he's not being tracked, he's not being seen, he's not like, none of this is going to come back to him. Like,
right. I
don't know how, if we do find out that he is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, dude, how did you think you were going to get away with this?
Right.
Like, it's got to just be dumb ignorance, youthful, dumb ignorance.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Or he was just living out a dream, and that's just something that he always fantasized about. Maybe he really was.
Possibly. I'm more on the line of like, I think that kind of how she gave him an ultimatum. Yeah, she was threatening to expose that, he's been with her since she's 11.
Yeah.
And because now he's getting a touch of that, he's getting a taste of fame. He's going out on tour. He's going into shows and stuff. He's now getting all the groupies and a bunch of attention and stuff.
Right.
And she was told that he was all hers.
Right.
She doesn't like that, so she's probably threatened to expose him for what he is.
She gave him a choice of A or B, and he chose C. I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
pretty much.
That's what I'm led to believe. And this is one of those things where we're going to get a lot of information in the next coming months with this trial. It's going to be very public.
It's going to be, it'll be a circus.
Yeah.
There's a lot coming out. There really is. And then there were so many people who knew Celeste was with him. There were even people, young people in the town of Celeste's town and neighborhood who knew that he was with her, like the people that caught him on camera.
Yeah.
It's just that part kind of baffles me. It's like, how did so many people close to her know what was going on, but yet her parents and other adults in the community are still putting her face up like they don't know where she is? You know what I'm saying? It's like she's with this dude every time.
Yeah, it's kind of
that's the part that I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something, and I apologize if I am. I'm not trying to, put any of the blame on the family or anything. I'm just saying, did you guys not know that she was with David the whole time? Because it seems like that's just the only place she was.
Yeah, it seems like that was.
And then he shows up outside your neighborhood.
It seems like like you said, like a pattern. It happened
like
again.
It was on TikTok.
Again.
I don't know. I just feel like if my child was missing, I'd be searching everything every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag their name every day on everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I want to see everything. I want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm in the dark.
And I know we're both thinking of this as, we both have daughters, we both have kids and stuff and thinking about if one of our kids went missing and then we find out that they come back and we find out that they've been with somebody older than them and they're a child.
Right.
The parental things that we have to be to go and confront that person and be like, you stay the fuck away from my kid.
Right. Or that's a pretty good reason for a restraining order right there.
Yeah. It's like either one of us isn't leaving here tonight if you don't stay away from my kid.
Right.
And to know that it happened multiple times, that it kept happening and it happened again. And I'm like, again, we're not trying to victim blame the family, but it's just guys, did you not, was there some level of ignorance? Was there a level of, I don't know. Did you not think that she was there again?
Right. Was
that not the first place you looked? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would think that would be the first place you would look after it's happened 3 times.
You would. He did live an hour away from them. So if he did pick her up, it's not like they would have access to him, right? And then, of course, a video of him on their street doesn't prove that he's with her.
Yeah.
So there's that too, right? You have to go with what they knew for sure. They can't just ride up at this dude's house. But, if I had pretty good inkling my daughter was there, I would just ride up on this dude's house.
Right, yeah. I'm just gonna show up.
Yeah, for sure. But, different strokes for different folks. But I think there's going to be a lot, like Andy said, this is going to be a media circus. There's going to be a lot coming out about this. This was interesting because, months before this came out, I remember my son telling me about him. He listened to some of his music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same. My daughter, when I mentioned it to my daughter, she's like, what? Like that guy?
He's popular among Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or was. He's probably really popular now.
Yeah. Gen Z, Gen Alpha,
for
kids
all the
or
wrong
whatever.
reasons.
Yeah. Now he's more infamous.
Right. Exactly.
He's their OJ.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you what's not infamous, what should be famous, and that's Oh My Gaia.
We're trying to make it famous.
We're trying. We're doing our very best. Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Guys, there's tons of scents to choose from at ohmygaia.com. That's ohmygaia.com. We even have our own scent, our trademark scent, True Crimepine. If you don't know where to start, that's a great place. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the code word Crimepine for 15% off your order. That's CRIMEPINE for 15% off your order. No spaces. Crimepine. And that's ohmygaia.com. ohmygaia.com. You will not regret it, guys. Give it a shot. You can also follow them at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram. And you can give us a follow on Instagram at True Crime Guys. And guys, be sure to rate and listen and subscribe.
Leave reviews.
Leave
tell your
reviews.
friends.
I've been told to do this because we joined a network now. We're part of Believe Network. They sent me an email. They said, make sure that you say these things at the end because your listeners will forget. And I was like, well, I've only been podcasting for 10 years, so I'm glad you told me how to do it.
I forgot.
I'm kidding. Thank you, guys. And guys, yes, we have joined Believe Network. Yeah, it's great so far. I think they got a lot to offer. They started out as like a sports-oriented network, but now they're dabbling in all the other amazing genres of true crime. There's lots of great true crime podcasts on Believe too. That's BLEAV.com. You guys can check them out. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for listening. And if you got a case suggestion, send it to us at truecrimeguys@gmail.com or at truecrimeguys anywhere on social medias. All right? Is that it, Andy?
I think so, Michael.
All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll see you next week for another True Crime Guys case, and I think we got headlines after that.
I think so, Michael.
All right, guys. Just keep on creeping.
Bye!